Should I put my modifier at the beginning of the sentence? Or would it be better in the middle or at the end? In this video lesson, we will cover where to correctly place your modifiers so your sentences do not confuse your readers or listeners. After a quick but thorough practice session, we will try a quick test to see how well you have learned to not misplace your modifiers ever again. Let's begin. A misplaced or inappropriately used modifier item on an objective test might look like this. So are the modifiers placed correctly in letter A? Broken and dusty, Clarence found an old computer in the garage. Or is it correct in sample B? Broken and dusty, the garage had an old computer that was found by Clarence. Or is the modifier correct in C? In the garage, Clarence found an old computer that was broken and dusty. Letter C is correct, and that's because the computer and not Clarence and not the garage is broken and dusty. So how do we properly place our modifiers? You're going to want to place a present participle phrase right before or right after the word that it describes. Well, what's a present participle? The present participle would be a verb with an ing ending. For example, dripping with hot fudge and whipped cream, the children ate banana splits. But the children are not dripping with the hot fudge. The banana splits are. So you're going to want to put the present participle closest to banana splits. The children ate banana splits dripping with hot fudge and whipped cream. You want to place a past participle phrase right before or right after the word it describes as well. So what is a past participle? Well, the regular ones are the verb with an ed ending. Unfortunately, there are some irregular forms and those are going to vary. Let's try one. In the living room, Paul kicked the television, angered by the football score. I don't believe the television could be angered by the score. Paul must have been who was angered, so we're going to put it before Paul. Angered by the football score, Paul kicked the television in the living room. You want to place an adjective clause right after the word it describes. Now, an adjective clause begins with a word such as that, which, or who. Let's try a sentence. The landscaper wrestled the old lawnmower through the long grass that coughed and choked. Well, the grass can't cough and choke. So it makes more sense if the lawnmower is the coughing and choking, such as the landscaper wrestled the old lawnmower that coughed and choked through the long grass. Now, to place your modifiers correctly, you want to avoid passive voice. So passive voice is going to use the form of the verbs to be with the past participle. Here's an example. Typing furiously, the essay was finished by Beatrice just before the 3 p.m. deadline. Wow, I wish my essays did type themselves. I have a feeling it's Beatrice who's doing the typing. Let's fix this sentence. Typing furiously, Beatrice finished the essay by the 3 p.m. deadline. That's more logical. We have come to our quick test. If you'd like, you may go back to the beginning of this video and review the misplaced modifiers part of this video. If you'd like, you can also use the PDF form of this quick test that you have that is called Misplaced Modifiers. Otherwise, if you're ready, let's move on. In the items that follow, choose the sentence in which the modifiers are correctly placed. Item 1. Which has the correct modifier? Is it A, sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, Desmond saw Mom's pristine birthday cake? Letter B, Desmond, sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, saw Mom's pristine birthday cake. C, sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, Mom's pristine birthday cake caught Desmond's attention. Letter C makes the most sense. The birthday cake is sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator. Item 2. Which has the correct modifier? A. Loudly slurping the bowl of hot soup, Derek's impolite behavior annoyed the other diner patrons. B. As Derek loudly slurped the bowl of hot soup, his impolite behavior annoyed the other diner patrons. C. Loudly slurping the hot soup, the other diner patrons were annoyed by Derek's impolite behavior. Letter B has the correct answer. Item 3. Which has the correct modifier? A. Seated by the window, Barbara munched popcorn on the long bus ride home. Letter B. Seated by the window, popcorn was munched by Barbara on the long bus ride home. Letter C. Barbara munched popcorn seated by the window on the long bus ride home. Since Barbara is the one who is seated by the window and not the popcorn and not the long bus ride, letter A is correct. Item 4. Which has the correct modifier? A. Rosalind struggled up the 3 flights of stairs in her new jeans, which were too tight for comfort. B. Too tight for comfort, Rosalind struggled up the 3 flights of stairs in her new jeans. C. In her new jeans, Rosalind struggled up 3 flights of stairs, which were too tight for comfort. Letter A is correct. The jeans are too tight for comfort, not Rosalind and not the flight of stairs. Item 5. Which has the correct modifier? A. Twisting in the strong wind, we knew the hurricane was close as we watched the trees. B. We knew the hurricane was close as we watched the trees twisting in the strong wind. C. We knew the hurricane was close, twisting in the wind as we watched the trees. Letter B has the correct answer. The trees are twisting in the strong wind. Item 6. Which has the correct modifier? A. Applying red toenail paint, Will asked Rhonda if she could interrupt her beauty regimen to go to the mall. B. Will asked Rhonda, who was applying red toenail paint, if she could interrupt her beauty regimen to go to the mall. C. Will asked if Rhonda could interrupt her beauty regimen to go to the mall, which was applying red toenail paint. Letter B is correct. Rhonda should be the one applying the red toenail paint. Item 7. Which has the correct modifier? A. Struggling with the algebra problem, the pencil tapped nervously on Kenneth's desk. B. Struggling with the algebra problem, Kenneth's desk was tapped nervously with the pencil. C. Struggling with the algebra problem, Kenneth nervously tapped his pencil on the desk. Kenneth is struggling with the algebra problem, therefore letter C is correct. Item 8. Which has the correct modifier? A. Marking his score sheet with care, the hope this week was that Byron would pass his vocabulary quiz. B. Marking his score sheet with care, Byron hoped that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz. C. Hoping that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz, the score sheet was marked carefully by Byron. Letter B would be correct. Byron is marking his score sheet with care. Item 9. Which has the correct modifier? A. Splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm, Jayanti cooled her hot feet. B. Splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm, the cool water refreshed Jayanti's hot feet. C. Splashing in the puddles, the thunderstorm cooled Jayanti's hot feet. Letter A is the correct answer. Jayanti is splashing in the puddles. Item 10. Which has the correct modifier? A. Huddled by the door, the rain made the wet kitten cry to come in. B. Crying to come in, the door is where the wet kitten huddled during the rain. C. Huddled by the door, the wet kitten cried to come in from the rain. Letter C is the correct answer. The wet kitten is huddled by the door. You've made it to the end of your Misplaced Modifiers video. If you'd like, you can go back time and again in order to review and refresh your skills on this video. You also have a PDF of this quick test called Misplaced Modifiers that you can go back and review your skills as well.